When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's a TRIDENTCast. The theme song.
Whip.
Hey, it is Pizza Cast time here. This is TRIDENTCast number 20. I think it's 28.
Really?
Yeah,
We've been doing it for over 2 years.
Yeah. You say that every time, and yes, we've been doing it for over 2 years.
No. Last time I'm sure I was just like, it's been a year.
Yeah, last time it's like it's only been 7 months. How is this?
So
this time I recognize it's been a year at least.
Yeah,
okay.
As you can tell, we have kicked everyone else out of the band. We're obviously the most important members here. This is Important Cast. You know, we don't need we're in metal. Who needs a rhythm section? You know, guitars and vocals. That's all you need, right? Right? Okay. So yeah. Anyway, Brent is off in a cave in Arizona somewhere, taking pictures of rocks and sunlight, and as like he does. And Brett is.
We lost him.
Well, yeah,
he'll turn up somewhere.
He's somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where we dropped him off. It was one of those interstate rest stops, maybe in Kentucky. I don't know. So anyway, we decided that we're gonna get some pizza because we're all hungry and we're just gonna eat pizza. So Aki, tell us about the pizza that we are consuming or have consumed.
So we did the West Side Pizza de Roma, and Pizza D is kind of like drunk pizza that's like good and shitty at the same time.
Mm-hmm. We were talking about how if Pizza D didn't have the business model of like we're gonna cater to like completely wasted people and sell them a shit ton of pizza at 3 in the morning, they would have gone out of business years and years ago.
Yeah, it like as students at UW, like on State Street, there's Pizza D and Ian's Pizza competing for the drunk crowd that is out and about after 1 and 2 a.m. So they just recently built a West Side location, and I think it'd be really funny if Ian's Pizza, their main competitor, would like also build like a location and build it like right across the street or something, just so like they could continue the rivalry on the West Side.
What would Aki or maybe Brian? What would you say is the stereotype of your typical drunk 3 a.m. Ian's customer and your typical drunk 3 a.m. Pizza D customer? What are the differences? What market are they going for? What's different between those two?
They're very similar in my opinion, but the Ian's Pizza, they really push the whole like they're never clear about it. Like I think they're purposely vague about it, but they always mention how they have some local items and whatnot, where they'll be like, oh, like we have some salads now, and they feature some greens that are grown in Wisconsin, and I don't know if like their pepperoni or like sausage isn't, I wouldn't be surprised if they still source it from like Hormel or whatnot. I mean, no, really, there's a New York Times article about how like I want to say it was something crazy. It was like over 80% of like pepperoni in the country is from like Hormel.
Really?
They're that big. I mean, they also bought Applegate Farms recently, but
not Applegate. I
know it sucks because Applegate, they're, for those that don't know, they're like a maker of like all natural meats, like red turkey breast or ham or whatnot, and they were one of the main makers of like all natural, I think like nitrate free uncured pepperoni, and now Hormel bought them, so like they've furthered their grip over the pepperoni industry and in the United States. So I think like the people who went to Ian's, I think like, I don't know how much is true, but I feel like they definitely try to cater a little bit more to the like, oh, like we have some stuff that's like, ethically grown and raised and whatnot. But
the young, drunk, intellectual hipster crowd, the Madisonians,
It is intriguing though. I do have memories of going out Friday night and whatnot, and sometimes being split amongst friends. Some people in the group would want to go Pizza D, someone would want to do Ian's.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's not even like a political lines thing. I remember when I did an internship at the Democratic Party right when I graduated in May, and we went out, a bunch of us interns, and there were a good like 6 or 7 of us, and we were really split down the line as to Ian's or Pizza D.
Ooh.
So
inter-party rivalries.
Yeah.
What is your, I guess, what's your preferred, Pizza D or Ian's?
although I'm annoyed they raised the price, I like Ian's a little bit more for the variety. I do think they suffer, like Pizza D, from having some bland pizzas.
Yeah.
But they also have some pretty good pizzas. They have some that are like out there just because, and those are kind of but some are really amazing. Smokey the Bandit's really good. I really like their spinach and feta they make. They have like just a really good mix. They have a steak and fries one that somehow works.
Brian, what's your favorite between Ian's and Pizza D?
I'd probably go Ian's.
Wow. Okay, I'm the only Pizza D guy here.
I wonder if since they're on the Pizza D on the west side is pretty much across the street on Grand Canyon, I think, from the bowling alley.
And Chuck E. Cheese's, yeah.
So I wonder if they stay open until 2:30 or 3:00 in the morning, so that when the bar crowd gets out of the bowling alley, they can stumble over there.
I think like the drunk crowd from Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, I don't think
those goddamn kids. I need a drink and a slice of pizza.
Those shenanigans don't fly on the west side like they do downtown.
No.
I don't think they're open late. I
would imagine.
No, they close at 9.
Nothing is open late.
They close at 9?
I know. When you're talking about that, I wish it was 10, but they make it 9. So
almost nothing is open late on this side of town.
Yeah, you really can't grab a slice of pizza after our band practices. That's why I always have to do Chick-fil-A or Wendy's.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Us old people that live on the west side, man. I tell you, just can't catch a break.
And when I was a young drunk hipster, I wasn't really around Madison as much. I was running around Whitewater. So
yeah.
I can't really speak to the
with your full beard and your beanie cap, right?
Yeah. I'm still working on Mo Shave Movember. What do you think?
Yeah,
I heard a really funny rumor in the time about the bowling alley and the Chuck E. Cheese next to it. I guess there's this rumor going around that so Chuck E. Cheese, I haven't been there for years, but I guess like their pizzas are really like they're not circular. They look really like kind of derpy and like different shaped.
Yeah, and they're pretty bad too.
You're right, I heard they're horrendous, but like there's this rumor that they take the uneaten slices and try to just reform them.
I saw that rumor. Yes.
I know.
I don't think Chuck E. Cheese management would agree to that rumor, but you know, if like a local store does that, I wouldn't be surprised because it's like it's a kid's place, you know. It's got a ball pit. Like kids don't care. They're like pizza.
I want to believe that they still have a CD manager with your CD manager voice.
Hey, you kids! Hey, can somebody over there? Can somebody spritz down the ball pit at the end of the night? Hey, don't clean it. Just cover it in Febreze, and we'll close up and go home. Okay.
I knew you were going to mention the ball pit.
Hey, Hey, don't put your old gym socks in the ball pit. Don't do that, okay? Look, we've had reports from local parents and also authorities to keep the ball pit more clean. Excuse me.
Now 40% more urine free.
Exactly.
Hey, urine is sterile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this month we've been working on a few different things. It's been mostly like writing and a few things. So like last time we did this 2-hour long crazy podcast where we talked about everything except for the reaction video. We spent 30 seconds talking about the reaction video that we were in, that a lot of you have probably the new subscribers are seeing this because of the reaction video. So the way that came about is Brett, our drummer, knows Cole, and he did the women react to pop music video, or pop video, excuse me, the reaction video. And that turned out so well that, somebody said, hey, you should do a metal bands react to pop. And he's like, I know a metal band. And so got in touch with us that way. Just happened to be in Madison. And and then that's how that worked out. So
can I ask, I haven't really gotten to ask you guys, actually. I talked to Brian briefly about it, but how'd the second reaction video thing go?
Yep, so that's another thing we filmed just last week, was it?
It was last Monday.
Last Monday we filmed a follow-up to the reaction video. It was the second reaction video we did, and it was another metal bands react to pop music. And for me personally, I thought that the first one had more things it was easier to react to the first one.
Ryan said it was harder this time around.
Yeah, the second one, I think it was a little bit more of a reach. Mm-hmm. That being said, so we got Sarah Longfield, and a lot of people know Sarah Longfield. She's a really famous, accomplished shredder who lives in Madison and who's a friend of ours, and she got on there, and she was funny. Oh my God, like just. And she the whole time she was downplaying. She's like, I don't know what to do. I've never done one of these. I don't know what to do. And then she watches it and she's like, I hate this. This is the worst thing. This is the type of music that the high school jocks who played hockey and made fun of me would make in the future. And fuck off, Kevin. I'm not going to kill myself. Screw you.
Wow.
It was like dark
Even
humor,
hearing
funny.
your impression, that sounds
Oh
really
my
funny.
gosh, she was super duper funny. So I'm actually I don't think I was as funny as the first one, but she took up the mantle. Like, God, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I actually gotta say, Brian, I'm looking forward to your segments just because I always like hearing your analysis. Yeah.
I didn't do a ton of analysis. It's difficult to analyze music where there's kind of bass notes and that's about it. Where there's not much music actually happening.
Yeah.
I'd come off of a full lesson day and I was getting sick. So by the time I went on, I was pretty foggy, kind of medicine headed. So I wasn't particularly sharp or witty. So I don't know. I think the magic is in the editing, to be honest with you. I think and I kind of came out of the first one with the same feeling, like, well, that was probably a dud. Oh well. And almost 700,000 views later, I guess it wasn't a dud. So I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of magic in how Cole puts all the reactions together and what order they put them in and what parts he specifically uses. So I don't know. I'm gonna largely, I think, reserve judgment and see what the finished product looks like.
Yeah, I got my fingers crossed for it.
Yeah,
I think you're right. There's a lot to be said about the editing. I mean, it's kind of like when you watch a movie. It's like, or even a YouTube video, how many quick cuts there are. It's rare to have even like a single shot that's longer than a few seconds. Was there anything funny like you didn't expect, like Brent Olsen talked a bunch?
I wasn't in the room for Brent's filming, so I don't know how he did. But
Please tell me you got really drunk and it was funny.
He had a few shots beforehand because he's like, I'm gonna need something to loosen up, otherwise I'm not gonna say anything. And so he's like, he brought his little.
He was hilarious at the cabin. You just gotta give him enough drinks.
He brought like a flask like full of whiskey, and he was like,
holy crap!
Yeah, he's like, okay, I'm ready. Put me in
Jesus.
front. Yeah, no. He took a while to sober up before he went home.
Yeah, because I went home because I was dying.
Yeah.
And he was still talking with Josh in the other room. And yeah, he had said he needed to go like 90 minutes ago, and he was still there.
No.
I think maybe in an ill-advised fashion, I decided to try to be fair and more impartial, and not specifically say bad things or rip on things, even if I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
Well, Sarah definitely took care of that portion for you because she was brutal.
So I tried to be nice, and that was probably ill-advised because I tend to try to be a little nicer, but it doesn't make for very compelling YouTube watching.
Right.
So we'll see. It's a work in progress. They're fun. It's whatever.
Yeah, we needed a Simon Cowell.
I need to go in angry and ready to tear some assholes, and then maybe I'll do a little better. So we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see.
Yep.
I think that is a hard thing. Like Brian, when you just said now, like I think about how like I often have like a work or I'm in public mode. Oh yeah, thank you. Where like I want to be diplomatic and be like, oh, this is not really my style here.
Right, yeah.
But like, I feel
But I can
like
see the merits of it.
Right. No, exactly. But like, I feel like if I'm just alone with you guys, I'll be like, man, it fucking sucks. What the fuck?
Yep.
I don't want to hear the bass. Yeah. And so like it's definitely hard when it's just like, okay, well, I'm on TV and I'm going to be on YouTube. I'm going to be screened and everyone's going to be watching, and I don't want to sound like I'm just a freaking asshole,
That's the secret. You actually want to sound like an asshole, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say something like only slightly related, but like
You can.
applies to Brian?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I was there was a time earlier today where I should have been productive, but I was watching some YouTube videos actually. And I came across this interesting video that got recommended to me randomly, and it's so weird because it came up because I had actually wondered this before. And it was this video by this guy's channel. This guy who's a pianist, and I guess he has perfect pitch or whatnot. Someone asked, "Are there any popular like pop songs or whatnot in Locrian?" And it was very interesting. He went over some examples.
So Locrian is a mode of music.
It's one of the 7 modes.
For those of you who are not familiar with music theory,
modes with a flat 2 and a flat 5.
Yeah,
and
based on a minor scale.
On a minor scale, and I feel like if people don't play guitar, I mean, like, for most, especially metal guitarists, we use diatonic modes all the time. Like, yeah. Especially Aeolian, which is natural minor.
I love aioli, man. Especially garlic parmesan aioli. Best scale ever.
It's difficult to truly write a piece in Locrian because, every mode, if you take 1, 3, and 5 of that mode, you get either a major or minor chord. That sets up tonality really nicely. If you take 1, 3, and 5 of a Locrian, it's a diminished chord.
Ooh.
Making your tonic chord or your home bass a diminished chord, it's really difficult to do because it just wants to keep resolved.
Yep.
Well, it's very unstable. It just wants to always resolve to where, back to 1, which is your major scale. So to make it not sound like it's just messed up C major, but to truly make it sound like a B Locrian, for example, is very tricky because your tonic chord is inherently diminished and unstable.
Yeah. By the way, Adam Neely hit up the Baron. You guys got to talk theory.
So I love your answer because this is exactly what the guy came.
Really?
No, I'm actually very happy. I wanted to hear if you'd say different things. He said say the exact same thing. He says very difficult because to have your root, what you resolve to not be a diminished chord. That's the conclusion as to why it's so uncommon.
Yeah.
The one song he came to the conclusion of, and I got so curious, I started doing research, typing in like songs in Locrian or metal songs in Locrian and whatnot, and lo and behold, his conclusion is similar to what I saw in, I think, 7string.org forums, and that is, there is a song by Bjork that made it into, I don't know, top 20s or whatnot.
Of course it's Bjork. Of course.
Here's the thing, as a bass line in the intro that is in Locrian, that plays the flatted 2nd and flatted 5th, but when they go into like the verse or chorus, they get rid of it. And there are a couple of examples that he had of cases like that, but every time it was never chords. It's always like, here's a song with a bass line or a little lead line,
right?
Because it's so it's so hard to play like an actual whole diminished chord as your root,
Yeah.
So that was very interesting. And then some people, some viewers said, "Oh, what about, like Seek and Destroy or whatnot?" He's like, nope, no. He's like, that is more a passing blue note when he goes da da da, but da da da. Yeah, like it's not actually highlighting that scale.
Yeah, and that's I think the thing about modes that you're never going to find what I think of as a textbook example of a modal song because real life music doesn't work that way. You're almost never going to find a song that just says this song is in Lydian, the end, because music is way more malleable and not as predictable. You never find a song or a tuner that's just Lydian, the end. Almost never. It just because music just doesn't work that way. And so what James probably did when he wrote that Seek and Destroy riff is he looked at something like Locrian and said, well, I can use these notes, ba-da-da, da-da-da, D to E flat, and A to B flat. Those are indeed in the key of A, your flat 5 and your flat 2. But then the rest of the riff is minor. So it's more just he's tipping the hat to Locrian for a split second.
To me, it's more just like a passing note. It's just like, oh, look at this little thing here. Like you said, it's just tip of the hat to it. Yeah.
Because then, ba-ba-dum, there is an E natural in the next part. So technically, if you wanted it to be purely Locrian, you have to go A, F, E flat, and then run the scale up.
And then when he just had the descending part, he also plays a perfect 5th, like that.
Yeah, right.
And so that's our thing. Yeah,
and it's all of those things that make it truly difficult to like be bona fide Locrian. So it's any and all of those things. Yeah. So
I know that wasn't planned.
It's the part this is the part of the podcast where I get to go like.
I think you understand more of it than you let on, though.
I mean, yeah. It was interesting. I was talking to my vocal teacher about this today because we were talking about. I don't know. We were talking about different things where if you he said that like some of the best singers that he knows are just dumb enough to be useful. Like he was like there's this one girl who's like just this amazing singer, and she came in and pinch hitted for this person who was sick, and she's like, I just came in because I knew the part and I don't know, and he was saying like, oh yeah, I mean, don't you think it's sad when the character you played dies? She's like, yeah, I mean, she's totally dead and it just sucks. And he's like, oh, do you know why she dies? Well, she was like sick or something. Yeah, she gets tuberculosis. What's that? It's a really bad disease. Oh, it's just really sad. It's like stuff like that. So I haven't really delved into music theory, nor have I like resuscitated my music theory knowledge of years ago. I feel like I knew enough of it and I learned enough of it to where I can hear what I want to. What works? What I know works musically in a passage for the most part. But then Brian comes in and he's like, "Oh yeah, you got to sing this," because it's the inverted contrapoint to the
I
fifth
agree with
mode.
Brian though, like whether or not you know the specifics, like why or the terms for something. I think you have a very good ear, and it's definitely happened when Ty's recorded me. There'll be moments where he'll be like, "I really like your solo," because a lot of times before we start recording one of my solos, when I'll play him what I got, and Ty will be like, I really like this. Here, like, what happens with that bend if you like do, if you try to like do a higher note? And I'll be like, oh, like a whole step. You're like, no, and I'll be like, like three steps, like one half steps up, and you'll be like, yeah, that's it, or you know what I mean, like. And so he might not know exactly like the note I need to go to or why something works over the backing chord, but I feel like you have a good ear nonetheless.
Right. I'm just dumb enough to be dangerous.
That note is so sad.
I think theory at the end of the day is honestly you hear sounds and you have to be able to explain those sounds somehow, and all you're doing is giving a specific sound a name. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, that's really all theory is. You're just, this sounds like this, so we're going to call it this.
Yeah.
And that's really all it is. But
speaking of Adam Neely and like theory, I was watching this thing on him where he did like a question and answer thing. One of the questions was like, oh, I'm an engineer and I want to get into theory, but I wonder, like one of the things I love about music is its inherent like magic to express, somehow express emotion. And he's like, do you feel that knowing all the theory that you do, like, dissipates some of the magic of just being able to like express something that that is unknowable, or like that you don't know why it sounds this way, but you know that it works, kind of a thing. And his answer was interesting. He said, he quoted Mark Twain about like he had a passage of about he was a steamboat guy on a river, and he knew the river so well that the fact that he had ridden this river up and down a million times, like he knew every little aspect of the river, and it changed the way that he looked at the river. He could no longer see like the mystery of the river because he knew so much about it.
Okay.
But he appreciated it in a completely different way, and that's kind of like what he got to. It was like, you can take this, this mystic knowledge, and you can figure out stuff about it, and you'll appreciate it in a completely different sort of way, sort of setting, and you can use that knowledge to compound upon, different... Like, you could take, music theory and go play Hungarian jazz, and you could apply what you know about, classical music to Hungarian jazz, and it would still be mystical and different because you weren't brought up in that tradition.
Yeah.
But,
Theory is a set of guidelines.
Yeah.
I don't think it loses its magic. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't think it loses its magic unless you start being like, no, we can't play this. It doesn't fit. It shouldn't sound good. I feel like as long as you don't let, like, that guide you much more than your ears, I feel like it's not like you're going to lose the magic.
Theory, you can learn theory. Doesn't mean you have to use it. You can learn all the theory you want and then still ignore it and write weird stuff however you want. The value is that when you learn the theory, it gives you choices and options that odds are you probably would not have devised otherwise on your own.
Right.
And that's, in my opinion, that's the value of it. You can always turn it off and forget about it and just make noise. You can still do that. But you have these cool kind of melodic or harmonic progressions that you truly wouldn't have came up with on your own.
Yep.
Because they're tricky or just complex. So to what you said, music always comes first.
Yep.
People, and even classical and Baroque music, these guys came after the fact and analyzed it. And that is the way the music's always been. You don't take a theory treatise on music and say, all right, well, this is my form. This is how I'm going to write now. It's never gone like that.
Yeah.
The theory follows the music. The music doesn't follow the theory. Does that make sense?
Yep.
No, definitely does.
So that's worth remembering too.
Yeah.
If you sit down and say, I'm going to use this theory to construct a thing, in my experience, it either doesn't work out, or if it does work out, it ends up sounding like an etude. It ends up sounding very pedantic, very exercise-like, and not particularly musical or interesting.
Yep.
So.
Oh my God, guys! I've just checked our YouTube views, and they're just going down. We got to bring this back somehow. How are we going to do it? How are we going to do it, ladies and gentlemen? I know exactly how we're going to do it. Aki's cat picture of the month. Here it is. Okay, everybody, we're done with the theory talk.
Yeah,
we're back to dumb stuff. Here
now
we
you
go.
Can turn the volume back up.
Turn the volume back up. Here's Aki. I'm going to pull it up on my phone.
So
cool,
okay.
Thank you.
While you explain what this cat picture is all about.
Here's a young kitty. He's showing his toe beams, which normally like the term on the internet for the bottom of cat's paws,
right?
Like jelly bean toes.
The jelly bean toes.
Yeah.
There's actually a subreddit.
Yep, jelly bean toes. r/jelly bean toes. And he's being very discreet.
Aww.
You can see his tail is covering his private spot.
Oh, it's nice of him.
Yeah. And he just looks happy, which makes me happy.
That's a good cat picture.
Yeah, it's a great cat picture.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know, Aki? Do you know any background about the cat? I know sometimes I
tried to do my research.
Yeah, exactly.
Nowhere in the comment section did they say his name, other than it's a boy kitty. And I did look at the user's profile, and they have other posts, and it looks like they have 2 dogs, and they have another cat, and it's black. And this is a pretty young kitty that they got relatively recently.
Excellent.
Yeah, but I'm always a fan. I said before, I really like tabby cats too. So
cool.
Yeah.
I also, while I was pulling that up on my phone, I just got an alert that Doug just bought a silver VIP ticket for Monique for Mad with Power. So thank you, Doug. That's
I haven't
awesome.
seen Doug for a long time.
I know we gotta hang out with Doug again.
Yeah.
Doug is one of our fantastic super fans from Kalamazoo, from Michigan. I want to say Michigan, and my brain goes, "You're ready to drink." Yeah. So
Algonquin for the good land.
So I guess that's a good segue into the fact that we've got tickets open for Mad with Power. Oh my gosh, we did that. I think we opened tickets 12 days ago.
Sounds about right.
At the timing of this this filming, and we have almost sold out of gold VIP passes. We've got 4 left of the 15 we had originally, and get this, we have 6 silver VIP passes left of the 25 we originally had, which is that's crazy.
That's awesome.
That's crazy. And we've sold over 30 general admission tickets so far. And the fest is still 5 3/4 of a month's out, essentially. So,
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. If you haven't bought your ticket yet, this year we actually do expect to sell out. We came last year we came 20 tickets away from selling out completely. So this year we do expect to sell out. If you haven't got your ticket yet, please go to madwithpowerfest.com and pick up a ticket. Come to the fest. It's going to be fan-frickin-tastic this year.
And this year, yes, that's actually what I was just going to bring up. This year is at
High Noon Saloon.
The High Noon Saloon.
Instead of Red Zone like it has been the last 2 years, so that's worth
and both are
noting,
great, but
emphasizing.
I love the giant room of the
Aki loves high ceilings, and High Noon Saloon has got
They make me feel very secure.
high ceilings for you.
Sorry, I always interrupt you.
No,
the reason
you're fine.
the reason we jumped to the High Noon Saloon is specifically because last year we came so close to selling out, 20 tickets away, that we wanted to get a room that was a little bit bigger. So we added by moving over to the High Noon Saloon, we added about 50 to 75 tickets that we could sell onto this, which means more people, and also
Well, I think too we're overlooking the fact that like High Noon Saloon is right by the MG&E power plant, so all these bands we don't have to worry about like blowing out
exactly
power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If the lights go out, we'll just cut the ropes and we'll just plug right in, and then boom, we got it. So.
Have either of you guys ever gotten a shock off of a power line?
No,
Not
God,
from a
no,
power
not
line.
from a power line. Have you? What? When did you get a shock off of a power? Wait,
It
hold
was
on.
During my construction days.
A shock off of a
Well,
power
not okay. So
line.
not like power line down to thing.
Yeah. Oh, man, that must have hurt like hell.
I had to walk it off for a little while.
Yeah.
Did you go to like the emergency room or no? Oh wow.
I've got the biggest shock I ever got was this is gonna sound really stupid. Yeah, even just like thinking about me saying this out loud sounds really stupid. But I I was a young teenager. I want to say I was 14, and I was in I was in my parents' hot tub, which was inside of our house, and I was in the hot tub and I was reading a book. I was trying to read a book in the hot tub. I was 14. I don't know what the fuck I was doing, and inside of the hot tub, I reached down. We had like an old style like 70s like towering lamp that had like branching out kind of 4 arms, right? And the push button to turn it on was on the ground, and it was all like brass, and so you had to push this button which was on the ground, and it had 3 different, like you press it once, there was one of them came on, press it twice, and of course since it was like made in the 70s, it only had 2 prongs, right? So I reached all the way to like sopping wet and body half still in the hot tub. I'm like, let me just turn on this light, and I hit it, and that was like, that was a pretty hefty shock.
Okay.
And I half of my book went into the hot tub, so
Wow.
Yeah.
It was
I mean, I think it did like, I don't want to say it like shot me up in the air, but it did knock me back, and I did land on my ass for sure.
Oof.
And then it took me about 30 minutes to feel normal again.
Did you have any like burns or anything from it?
Surprisingly, no. I don't. Maybe, I don't know. I might have, but it was. It got my attention. That's for sure. A 0 out of 10 would recommend.
Yeah.
It's funny. I've so few memories from when I was like before I was like 12 or 13. I have so few memories of those like really early years, but I do remember being very, very young, like under 6, and I remember getting shocked because I stuck something into an outlet.
Really? You did that kid thing where you
I actually do remember being on all fours and doing that, and it's one of the few memories I have like little like small picture memories of like the first several years I was alive, but like I actually do remember being shocked. It's funny when you mentioned that. I immediately thought about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did you stick in the outlet?
I don't remember.
Don't tell me it was a fork.
I'm leaning towards a fork.
What?
I'm not sure what it was, but yeah.
Oh my! That's like the cartoon caricature of the thing that the babies do. It's like,
I honestly think I was like 4 years old or something. I was really young.
Oh man.
Yeah, but yeah.
All right, we're gonna call up your mom,
times.
and we're gonna get the full story. So anyway, how did we get on this? Oh, Maddest Power.
You're
And,
saying
yeah.
since we're near the electrical.
Right.
So I'll go up in a cherry picker and grab 2 stout, cables, and
Yep.
I'll hold them together for the next hour.
Well,
and a half,
it'll be
and-
like it'll be like
What could possibly go wrong?
Like Back to the Future.
Right.
And just before, like you or I are about to do a solo, and one of our bands just feel like they have to connect it just in time.
Marty, you've got to play the solo, or they'll never make it big.
You see, and he survived that. That's
Yeah,
a
he
bolt
did,
of lightning, which is
There's
supposed to be the
There's
worst.
going to be a guy in the back of the High Noon Saloon, like with a gold chain. He's going to be like the producer. He's like, "Well, let me see if these guys can actually solo." Marty, if Brian doesn't play a solo, they'll never make it big, and then your parents will never get together, and then you'll never be.
Ba-da-da. And I have to play that as my solo.
Yep.
Back to the Future thing.
All right.
That
keep
part's still epic.
That is.
I don't know if you're the same. I have like some favorite moments in movies, and I have them on my saved YouTube videos, and I just like watching them because they get me pumped or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I do love that part in Back to the Future.
During Maddest Power, at some point, you'll have to like get on the mic and say like, "Well, maybe that was a little ahead of your time," or whatever you said.
Your kids are going to
that's
love
Your
it.
kids are gonna love.
Oh my god, that'd be really funny if we went on and on with like a solo duo and whatnot forever, and then be like,
Well, you may not understand this, but your kids are gonna love it.
exactly. Oh man. I do have to say one other off-topic thing.
Okay.
I know.
God damn.
I know. Oh my god. So, I was on the subreddit for guitar pedals and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
I like looking at equipment and whatnot, and lo and behold, someone's like, "Is that the new Ernie Ball tremolo pedal?" And I think we all talked about this in the car, like tremolo. It's probably exactly. Oh, it's not doing a yawning effect.
Oh.
I'm just like,
wah.
it's like it's like a weird, stuttering sound.
Yep.
And I think we all agreed it's kind of cool, but the problem is like it takes up real estate on your pedal board, and you'd really only use it on like 1 or 2 songs in an album, because otherwise it's such a specific jarring effect.
Unless you're in an indie rock band or something.
Right.
Or maybe you were doing-
REM.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could, or if you were doing like what is it, like old Western covers, like
Oh yeah. So
For what we do, it's not particularly applicable.
Oh yeah. Like I've seen it occasionally in metal, like maybe during like a pre-chorus or whatnot, they have that effect, over chords or whatever, but it's very short. Well, something kind of cool that with this Ernie Ball pedal is, so Ernie Ball's known for, they don't make a lot of pedals, but are known for their volume pedal. That's their very first pedal that came up, and now they have a wah pedal, and now they have a tremolo pedal in a like volume or wah style pedal. And someone on Reddit was like, it makes perfect sense, and I was like, it does. Get this, with this new one, it acts as an expression control to speed up the speed of the tremolo stutter.
it's like having a Leslie organ. amp
And you can
on your-
and you can choose to have that pedal control either intensity or speed or both,
Interesting.
and it lets you choose a different type of waveform of the tremolo you want. So I just wanted to tell you guys, this guy thought that was very cool, and I don't want that pedal, but I thought that was such a cool, like, it's one of those things that's like, why didn't anyone think about this until over 30 years since tremolo's been around? No, it's been around since like the 50s, I think. Like, they had it built into amps, so like, it took this long, but finally someone's like, why not have an expression control?
They need a guy who played a Hammond organ and then jumped over to guitar, and that's who made that pedal, probably. So anyway, back to Mad with Power. We announced the lineup for Mad with Power this month. Our headliner this year is going to be Theocracy out of Athens, Georgia, which is we're really excited to have them in. They actually don't play a whole lot of like U.S. dates. Okay, cool. They play a lot in Europe, but we're excited to have them. They're excited to be here. Of course, we already announced Helion Prime and Judicator are probably the ones that I think the power metal, the U.S. power metal community are probably the most excited for. And
you said Judicator doesn't play many shows, right?
Judicator really, like, they're mostly a recording band, so they are kind of coming out. I've been hounding them for a couple years. John specifically, I'd be like, John, come play Mad with Power. Well, I don't know, John, come play Mad with Power. All right, fine. Jeez, all right, stop bugging me, Ty. Fine. So yeah. So they're doing that. They're doing a small tour. Helion Prime is coming over with their singer from Greece. He's flying into the U.S. to do this show. Oh, I'm so excited.
Dang.
Yeah, solid lineup.
Yep. We've got Fiacre. We've got Widow from North Carolina. I saw those guys at Legions of Metal, and they were fantastic. And on top of that, we almost have 2020. Assuming we only do one night in 2020, we almost have 2020 booked out too.
Really?
Yeah.
So wow, that's
We'll have to talk about that when we're done.
We will talk about that off the air because I don't want to spoil anything on that one.
How many of these bands are going to stay at your place?
I think everybody.
Nice.
Well, not everybody's staying at my place. That's another thing we need to talk off air about.
Okay.
You know, specific of where people are going to stay. But yeah, we're doing the whole big breakfast. It's going to be super fun. I've warned everybody ahead of time. Like you are not leaving. You're not going to be driving. You know, after the show, we are doing breakfast this year. Because last year we didn't have anybody stay, which was disappointing. I brought like $200 worth of breakfast food, and we made breakfast for all like the volunteers and the guests and stuff. But yeah.
Have you ever met the singer Judicator in person, or is this going to be first time?
No. I've never met anyone from Judicator in real life. We've talked online a lot, tons and tons.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is going to be the first time meeting people in real life. So yeah, it's going to be really fun.
It should be very exciting. I think what's nice too, like, although I'm more of a cold weather person, I think what's nice about having it in the summer is that, like, I think a lot of people come out even if there's rain, whereas, like, if we had in the middle of winter and there was, like, snow and horrible ice, it's like, that could really...
That could affect...
turn out,
So, people who haven't bought your tickets yet, August 10th at the High Noon Saloon. Not only all these bands, but we have free play arcade and pinball, brought to you by Vintage Vault Arcade and IO Bar, the brand new barcade here in Madison. And on top of all that, we have Dr. Philip on. Shang Tsung himself is going to be at the fest as our special guest. He's going to be signing autographs. He's going to be playing you in Mortal Kombat 2. You can play Shang Tsung versus Shang Tsung. You can play somebody else versus whoever he plays. I'm assuming he's going to play Shang Tsung.
He says he likes to play Scorpion because he can remember the moves.
Oh, man. Philip, I tell you.
Or he plays Shang Tsung, but he keeps turning into Scorpion by accident.
There you go.
And so he learns Scorpion.
So, yeah, we, specifically Brian, I think maybe accidentally made friends with Shang Tsung at
for sure.
Midwest Gaming Classic, and we've been tight ever since, and yeah, it's been super fun. So he's coming.
Exciting, very cool.
Yeah, we're excited about him. So that's going on, and believe it or not, like on the logistical side of things, like a lot of it is already taken care of. It's spoiler alert, it's way easier to put together a festival when you're not also doing a Kickstarter and releasing an album at the exact same time. Holy crap. I feel like I'm like 3 steps ahead of this fest this year, which is amazing. So like I'm still trying to think of a good like gold VIP prize. And what I was and this was something that was actually suggested by Brent's wife, Alyssa. How do you guys feel about like Texas-style giant belt buckles? I'm asking in a funny way, but also kind of a funny, serious way. Like, I've gotten quotes on this.
I like
a big giant Mad with Power. How do you feel about a big giant Mad with Power Texas-style belt buckle of like, the logo? Let us know. lordsofthetrident@gmail.com. What's your initial reaction other than this is ridiculous?
Belt buckles are no good for me.
Okay.
Generally because they'll ruin my guitars.
Right.
So belt buckles are not a thing for me. So I guess that would be my answer.
Yeah,
but I'm not a gold
buckles.
VIP person. So.
Yep. Aki?
He's got Texas written all over him. Look.
Oh
at him.
yeah. Yeah.
Aki Big T Shimada.
Yep. Everything's bigger in Aki, bro.
Texas oil. All right.
Okay. So anyway, we've got that. We opened for Marty Friedman. Let's talk about that.
I think the band that stole the show was Immortal Guardian. Oh my god.
Yeah. So okay.
The band right after us, but before Marty Friedman.
Yeah.
The guitarist.
Gabriel,
like, Yeah, probably one of the most like technically talented guitarists like I've ever seen. He simultaneously played keyboard and guitar, and it's crazier than you think. Like it wasn't just like a repeating pattern on the keyboard. He would like solo on the keyboard and the guitar. Sometimes play different parts. Sometimes play harmonies. Like he would harmonize his guitar, and he would like play the guitar legato, so not picking, but like legato while playing the keyboard. It blows my mind that level of ambidexterity and ability to just like
Yep. Go check out Immortal Guardian. They're really good.
Can I see that?
Yeah. Yeah, so the story of the day went that we got there super early because
we were told to.
Yeah, and Marty was supposed to load in at 3, and the VIP people were supposed to be there at 5. So we brought all of our like in-ear monitoring stuff to get set up ahead of time. And it was snowing really hard that day, and apparently Marty and Immortal Guardian were on the same bus, and they got held up by like a 40-car pileup outside of Osseo.
Because it was blizzarding that day.
Yeah, and
on 94.
So they got stuck. They didn't arrive until like what was it, like 8 p.m.
Yeah, we were playing Metal C when they arrived.
Right. So maybe it was more like 8:15. But anyway, so like they were supposed to get there. They were supposed to put all their stuff on stage, backline and everything. And yeah, I was there at like 3 and it's kind of like,
we went from, as we heard they're late. We went from a fast and tight 30-minute set starting at the stroke of 7:30 to 7:45-ish, 45 loose.
Right, yeah.
So
play 45 minutes and talk a lot. I can do that. So, yeah. And it was fun. It was good. I thought we played really well that night. Yeah. We had a really great crowd. Everybody was really understanding about the whole weather and Marty being late and stuff like that. I felt kind of bad for the people that had purchased like
the VIP
tickets.
Had taught to see their sound check. And everything.
That being said, they got to go on the bus. They got to hang with Marty for a little bit. They got to take pictures and things like that. So that was cool.
It was a really long night because after Immortal Guardian, we had to wait a long time. I think that's when Marty was meeting with people.
Yeah, he had to. He still had to see all the people who had bought the.
Yeah, it took like an hour.
Yeah, it was a long wait.
It was crazy. Immortal Guardian played. They finished at like, I don't know, 9:45, and then Marty didn't take the stage until probably 11.
I looked at the clock. I don't think I got we were at I don't think I got home that night till like 1:30ish.
Yeah.
It was
God.
late.
Well, and we were like on the rider. We were told that like show ends, like hard end at 10:45 p.m. So we're like, aha, easy, early night.
We can work tomorrow.
We're going to work tomorrow. No problem.
No, it was more like 2:15 by the time I got home.
Oh my God.
After we came back here and unloaded everything.
Yeah. That being said, I will echo what Aki said. I will Aki what Echo said.
I can't remember fully.
That Immortal Guardian was really good. They were really fun to watch.
They stole the show with their stage show was amazing. The guitarist was really friendly.
Well, and so I hung out a lot with Gabriel, the guitarist, and from what I understood, from what I heard from them, they actually had to tame their stage show down because Marty, wasn't traveling with like lights or effects or anything. Apparently, they normally have like lasers and lights that are tuned to like all of their songs. Yeah. Because Gabriel works as a lighting and like stage tech as a job.
Oh,
really? So I took him out to lunch the next day, at the Old Fashioned. Gotta have some Wisconsin stuff, and then I took him to the Capitol. It was super fun. We hung out, we talked. Just like really, really great guy. He has, and I don't think he'll mind me saying this, but he told me like his kind of backstory of how he got into metal, and it's crazy. So the TLDR of the whole story is that he started Immortal Guardian when he was like 17, and then he went off and did techno with Skrillex's brother, and they were in a group called Fire. And after a couple of years of doing that and doing all the fests and stuff, he kind of got burnt out, and he decided to quit. And then he got hired by the guy who started Cirque du Soleil, who's apparently a billionaire because he sold the rights to Cirque du Soleil to a bunch of cities. He got flown out to Spain and to do like a week-long like creative journey with this guy and a bunch of other creative people to try to come up with new ideas, like a new Cirque du Soleil. And they did this sort of like guided meditation with like sound bowls, and I've done this before at the Center for Healthy Minds. But what they didn't tell him before the meditation is like they're going to take a bunch of drugs. You know, like, so here's like, you know, a bunch of ayahuasca and DMT and, you know, blah, 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 blah. It's like, you know, and he was in this meditation, he didn't know, and they're like, and now we're going to administer the medicine. And he was like, what? You know, and apparently he's like, well, his friends were like, dude, you're either all in or all out. And he's like, okay. So he tripped for like 10 hours while this dude was like banging bowls around his head. And he told me that he saw, like, during his trip, he saw like a version of himself from an alternate reality where he was a monk, like with a shaved head, and the monk was like, dude, you're not happy, you got to go back and play heavy metal again. And he's like, you're right, monk me from a different parallel dimension. And he woke up, and like that day he went to the dude who's like Cirque du Soleil guy, and he's like, I got to go back and do heavy metal, I'm sorry, I got to leave right now. And so he left, and he started Immortal Guardian back up, and then now they're doing this.
Was the Cirque du Soleil guy at least like excellent?
Yeah, no, he was all about it. He's like, this is why we do this, so that we understand our purpose in life and our journeys and stuff like that. So, it's crazy.
Wow. Does he have an endorsement with Kiesel Guitars?
I don't know what he's endorsed by, but man, Gabriel, if you're watching this, you are an amazing dude. We've been texting back and forth. You know, let's just say that they're maybe, you know, in the running for 2020 for Matter of the Power. Maybe, you know, I don't want to say anything about it, but, you know.
Yeah, they were so good. They're all really talented.
Yep. But yeah, Gabriel is just in general just an amazing person, and I really enjoyed my time with him. And so I hope we can hang out more. And then Marty came up, and you guys can talk more about Marty, I think.
He had a lot of energy for a guy in his 50s, like his hopping up and down and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And the drummer is good and really crazy. And him, the drummer and the bassist were all really active and also had a pretty good stage show. I think it's just hard to like outdo Immortal Guardian. And it was a little weird. It's kind of funny, like Marty Friedman, his pedal board was on the side of the stage, and there was a guy
really?
Yeah,
I didn't see that. Really?
Yeah.
So like
that's what Dimebag used to do too.
Yeah.
Is his tech would do all of his sound changes for him. So he's just on stage with a guitar, and so it's like when you play, it's actually you and your tech are both playing the show.
Weird.
So like you can have a good gig or a bad gig. Your tech can also have a good gig or a bad gig.
Man, that's okay.
What I don't like about that is like sometimes, you know, you're like feeling feisty and you're like, I want to add a wah to the solo. You know?
Well, when you play the same set for every night for 30 days straight, though, you don't usually feel feisty. You just do stuff.
You know what I mean, though? Like sometimes, like it's like fun to be like,
you throw in a little creative expression.
Right. Sometimes like I'm gonna throw a wah here. I was like, I'm gonna put a little bit longer for delay line here. You know, I'm just gonna really be a little more spacey. But yeah, it's really weird, and Brian and I were talking about this, but he has this weird way where he'll like pick a note and he'll like flick at it. Michelle loved this because she likes doing the finger swiping thing and like flick the string to keep sounding it.
Yeah, like he picks and like he does that with his other fingers to resound the string.
Yeah. Wow,
it's very strange.
Huh.
I don't really see the purpose in it.
His other guitarist was
insanely good.
Probably about as good as he was, I think.
I would say is better. Like, I mean, I think it's so hard. You and I were talking about this again. Like, not to go on a rant, but this like, there are so many more resources for guitarists now. I'm at like how many websites there are, YouTube videos, all the key tips on how to do certain like sweep arpeggios, alternative picking, etc. Yeah. And it's like, I think you put it well. You're like, there are always guitars like Marty that's blazed a trail. Like they created this path and this inspiration for generations of young guitarists. But like, man, there's all these guitarists now in their like early mid-20s that can just like shred like a mofo and sweep pick and do all this stuff.
Yeah. I had a funny interaction with, so like, you know, while we were waiting that hour for Marty to do his whole VIP thing, somebody somebody had said, "Hey, there's pizza in the green room that nobody is eating, and it's getting cold." I think they were talking to Immortal Guardian, and we were like in earshot. And I was talking to Gabriel. I'm like, "You wanna go get some pizza? Green room? Go get some pizza?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, let's go get some pizza." And so we went to the green room, and his Japanese backing band, the drummer and the bassist, were there, and we were like, you know, and Gabriel was like, "Hey, what's up, Hiroshi?" I can't remember his name.
I'm curious because
you know,
like I saw you going there, but I don't know what happened.
So he's like, "Hey, what's up, man? Hey, can we
it.
have some pizza?" And he's like, "Oh, pizza, yes, please, pizza, okay." You know, and you know, and the drummer was like, the drummer spoke English, but very like broken.
Yeah.
You know, and so I was, and so you know, I grabbed a slice and I looked at him, and he's like, "Oh, hello, my name is," you know, and I'm like, and I say in Japanese, I'm like, "Oh, tai tomoshimasu, yoroshiku onegaishimasu." He's like, "Oh, you know, you speak Japanese? Oh my god!" And so we started talking in Japanese, just back and forth, and then the bassist was like, "Oh my god, your Japanese is so good, blah blah," you know, because that's just what they do. And I was really rusty, but I was, you know, I was trying to talk as best I could. I was inviting him over. I'm like, "Hey, if you guys want a place to stay after the show," because Gabriel was talking about how you can't poop on the bus, and like, "Hey, if you just want a place to come and like have an actual bed that's not moving for a night, like, you know, come on over." And so we were talking, eating pizza, talking, and then all of a sudden, Marty comes in. You know, and I'm like, and the high noon green room can fit like 6 people maximum. It's the smallest green room in the entire
It's smaller than like this section of this room.
Yeah, it's super duper tiny.
We're gonna have to work on that for Mad with Power.
I already have it figured out.
Good deal.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
We're buying what's called a drape and pipe. We're gonna put it draping along the sides of both stages, so we can.
The drapes match the curtains. If you know what I mean.
Exactly. Except they won't, because it'll be blue. So.
I thought you were going to say we were going to reserve a part of the balcony or something.
I might do that for VIPs actually.
Dude, we should totally get one of those couches that wrap around like that, you know?
Yeah, so you can be like, "Oh, these are the Trident guys.
Well,
they better hit that
where
solo.
they have to
or we're not
wrap
gonna
around.
sign 'em."
They have to wrap around couch, and there's like drinks, and then like each of us, there's like 2 women to each of our sides.
Right,
and just,
right.
Like laughing about
Lady.
something. We got the champagne.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I'm sitting here talking Japanese, blah 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 blah, and then all of a sudden Marty walks in, you know, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, I should go. This is Marty Friedman. I should probably leave." You know, like you know, and so I'm like, I start like, and he comes in, and in Japanese he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm late. You know, let's all do good tonight." And I'm just sort of like inching out, like, I'm just not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna talk, and blah 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 blah. And as I've got my hand on the doorknob, the drummer, who's, you know, hilarious, gregarious dude, he's like, "Oh, Marty, Nihongo sugoi, Nihongo," which means like, this guy's really good at speaking Japanese. And Marty like whips over and he's like, "Oh," and he starts talking like a mile a minute. And I'm like, "Hi." You know, and I just go blank, and I just like lose all of my Japanese, like all, you know, because I'm like, fuck, I'm sorry, you know, like, you know,
Like,
and so I'm like,
yeah,
I'm like, "Hey, I'm in." I managed to say in Japanese, like, "Hey, I was the vocalist for the first band. It's great to meet you." And he's like, "Oh," you know, and he shook my hand, and, you know, I said in Japanese, he's like, "I'm so sorry we couldn't see you guys," and blah blah blah. "I heard you were great. Manager said you were good." And I'm like, I'm gonna go. I'm sorry. You know. So that was cool.
That's nice, yeah.
But then after the show, when Marty disappeared, like, we were, you know, I went back into the green room after Marty had left, and we were talking. I was talking to the band for quite some time after that, and they were all just super cool people. We were gonna host them here, Immortal Guardian and Marty and the band, but their driver for their bus had already gone to bed, and he was a union driver, and apparently you cannot wake up these drivers after they've gone to sleep. It's illegal, or it's like not part, you know, like it's a violation of their contract. So they couldn't move the bus no matter what. And Gabriel was actually going to take a Uber and come on over to my place just because he wanted a place to stay. But apparently they were up partying until 4 a.m.
Man.
So,
well, it makes sense because they had the next day off.
Yeah.
And then didn't need to play until, I think, the Twin Cities on Tuesday.
They actually played Milwaukee on Tuesday.
That was it.
It was
so yeah,
weird.
that's like not far to go.
Yeah.
They were coming from the Twin Cities. That's why they got stuck on 94.
Right. So the next morning I woke up and I texted Gabriel. I'm like, hey man, just want to say it was an honor to play with you guys. And he's like, oh, dude, I'm awake and like it was cool to hang out with you. And I'm like, are you hungry? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, you want to go get some food? So went out, got some food, took him to the Capitol.
Cool dude.
He Gabriel is honestly like just one of those dudes that I just connected with immediately, and I just felt like good vibes. He's really, really, really cool dude. So so we've been chatting, we've been talking. Stuff might be happening in the future. We'll see.
They live pretty far away though. They're not
Las
from
Vegas.
Okay.
Las Vegas, not Economowoc.
Los Economowoc.
Los Economowoc.
Darn.
Sorry. Yeah, he did say if we ever came through Vegas that we'd have a place to stay, which is cool. So.
How did you feel, Brian, seeing one of? Marty's one of your favorite guitarists, right?
Mm-hmm. What if there's one thing I took away from watching him? Well, the main thing is how incredibly tight his band was, and how perfect his guitar playing was, how polished and precise him and his whole band were. It was like one of those, I think, almost like bordering on superhuman level, executions. But what really struck me about watching Marty is just how joyful it is to see him play, or in particular, not to see him play, but how joyful he is when he plays. I love performing, and I feel many things when I perform, but unbound joy and happiness are usually not one of them per se. It's just not naturally where I go.
He looked like a kid in the
but yeah, no, store. I mean, these waves of exuberance just poured out of him, of unbridled happiness, and I've frankly never seen a guitarist or any musician really emote like that before, and it was just very remarkable. It's that for those that 90 minutes he was on stage, it's like there was literally nothing else in the entire world he would have rather been doing than that right there at that moment. And that's pretty cool, pretty remarkable, pretty unique.
Yeah. So that was our time with Marty Friedman.
I was able to go on the bus for a hot 20 seconds. He signed my euthanasia tab book that I got when I was in high school in 1997, probably. He was nice, and I didn't want to gurm him, so I said thank you and got the hell off his bus, and that was it. So
cool. Yeah, so there you go. And it was all, I'd say all in all, 9 out of 10. Very good night. Everybody
I have played High Noon Saloon to 10 people many times, and on a Sunday night, this was a great crowd.
That was a lot of people. Super fantastic crowd. Yeah. So hopefully more nights like that. Hopefully Meredith Power will be even more packed.
Not 10 people.
Not 10. Well, definitely not 10 people.
All right.
So we got that going.
Moving on up.
Another thing that we did, we teased last podcast. We released our music video and cover of the Midnight's Los Angeles, and it got on Metal Sucks, which was one of the things that was like huge, like for us, because we've never been on Metal Sucks before. We were featured on their Sunday Synthwave column. Reaction to the video, reaction to all the videos lately has been really, really positive. Got a lot more views on Facebook than we did on YouTube. But all in all, I think people really dug it. The one thing that I was a little bummed about is that the Midnight themselves didn't share it or comment or didn't get back to me on any of my messages to them, which I do understand, because they're currently on tour in Europe. So I still have hope that, like, in the next couple months when they're back and they've sort of like collected themselves and stuff like that, maybe they'll see it, maybe they'll comment.
It would have been cool to see like a tweet or an Instagram post.
Yeah, just something.
It still might happen, just,
I find, like, although YouTube videos are a thing that are in essence sort of timely, they're also they also can be sort of like a producing LPs or an album where like they can also be like a time release sort of a thing. For a lot of the people that are watching this now that are brand new subscribers, I mean, they have years of backlogs of music videos and tour recaps and stuff that they can go through that they have available to them. So in essence, like, yeah, there is a timeliness to like releasing a music video and getting some sort of a, you know, oh, that's a great picture of you. Some sort of a, you know, like a virality of it. But it also can, you know, kind of age well and can be rediscovered. So
well, yeah, I think a lot of, or it's my hope that many YouTube videos will someday maybe be rediscovered and be like, whoa, look at that.
Yep.
Well, we'll see, I guess.
I mean, all the comments from all the new subscribers have been super duper positive.
Very positive overall.
You know, it brings us up for sure. It's like, you know, all those positive comments were like, "Yay, we're actually doing something."
I'm just hearing this. What the hell is wrong with me?
Yep. Those ones are great.
Yeah.
Did New Retro Wave? Did they even let you apply, or did they say they're so backlogged?
So I tried to message them directly, and they never got back to me. I tried a few different emails and I tried messaging them on YouTube. They have an application on their website. It looks like it's kind of like for bands or for people that want to debut stuff on New Retro Wave, but apparently they only open up applications like once every 3 months. So, you know, we weren't going to be able to get on there, fine. Which was really, it was disappointing.
I don't get how they find some people, because their channel has changed a bit in the last year. I mean, it's gotten a lot bigger, but looking at a lot of their videos from like even 2 years ago, they have some really small individual artists that have like a single Bandcamp page with 4 songs,
right.
And have never released anything else. And like, so I'm always like, how did that person get to?
I mean, I think they got big.
Yeah.
You know, like anything else.
It is different.
They started
out
out
like
small.
Streetwear now. They also like have clothing and whatnot.
Like anybody else, they started out really small, and they would take basically anybody that kind of fit, and then they got big, and now it's a little bit more of a challenge to appear on that channel.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So for the people who are home watching, like one of the things we tried to do is we tried to debut it on this channel called New Retro Wave, which is a channel that Aki and I really like to listen to.
That's how I found out about a lot of synthwave bands.
Kind of like a tastemaker channel for a lot of the synthwave bands. I'd
say.
They
never play like the same band twice in a row or anything. I mean, literally like every few days they have a new band that they post that they do a song of, and yeah. So
that didn't work out, but you know, maybe in the future. And then, like, the last thing we have to talk about that we actually did this month, besides the acoustic stuff that we're going to be coming out with in a couple days for the Patreon backers. By the way, thank you, everybody on Patreon, patreon.com/Lords of the Trident. Thank you for being a backer. We're going to have the two acoustic songs out for you in a couple days, hopefully by the end of the month here, for January and February. Also, thank you to our sponsors, Wheelhouse Whiskey, Cold Cock Whiskey. I forgot. No, we switched over to Cold Cock. No, I'm kidding. Wheelhouse Whiskey, Rocker Vodka, and of course Boss Meadery. And SKB cases, the best cases around. Don't put your Cold Cock Whiskey in just any flight case. Put it in an SKB flight case, because then your dad will be extra angry, because nothing will break. So anyway, the last thing we did just this last weekend was we played Larry's Ren Faire, which was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Every year it's so much fun. So for those of you who are not familiar with this, our good pal Larry the Steadfast, Larry loves the Ren Faire, and I think Brian loves the Ren Faire too. I love the Ren Faire, but I think Larry loves the Ren Faire.
So much that he puts one on at his house.
Yeah. And he laments the fact that we live in Wisconsin, which is a place that has winter, and, you know, the Ren Faire only comes once a year, and Larry says, no, this is a travesty. I want 2 Ren Fairs a year. I need my Ren Faire fix. So he turns his entire house into a winter Ren Faire, and he has a bunch of, like, Ren Faire acts playing on YouTube on all of the TVs and all the projectors and stuff in his house. He and the Guys Games Beer crew cook turkey legs and pretzels and Scotch eggs and all sorts of.
And they made Glug this year.
Glug, that was good.
Yeah,
actually, that was
tasty.
really good.
And they had Dan the Bard. It was my first time seeing him.
Yeah, Dan the Bard is one of the guys that you'll always see at the Ren Faire. He's really, really, really good. And then we we'll have a few drinks, and we'll grab some acoustic guitars, and we'll play a set. This year we played like what, an hour and
At least an hour.
40 minutes,
We,
hour and a half.
we went for a while for sure.
Yeah. So we had 2 sets planned, and they just kind of like all melded into each other, I think. So, but yeah, we had a super fun time. It was us 3, and we played acoustic, and we played a lot of the acoustic hits. We came up with a rendition of Dust in the Wind that we called Beer from the Fridge, which I think was a hit. What else? Oh, Larry. So Larry also always tries to. Well, I say tries. In the past, he successfully has lit his Christmas tree on fire in a big bonfire by soaking it in gasoline, and just drunkenly lighting it on fire, which is always sort of ill-advised. And a bunch of his friends are like, Larry, stay back, Larry, come on, no, that's enough gasoline, Larry, that's enough gasoline, like, and he's like, it's fine, he's just throwing more gas on it. This year, it was raining the whole day we were there, and it was it was just wet and shitty and cold, and so we tried to light this tree on fire for what, a half an hour maybe?
Yeah, probably when it was all said and done. We were out there for a while.
And the weird thing was is he kept throwing gasoline on it, and it just wouldn't go up.
The tree looked a little like I was told that in the past it would be like all brown and whatnot. This one was still a little green.
Yeah, this tree was decidedly green colored yet.
Yeah. So part of us were wondering if it was actually a plastic tree, and no, it wasn't. They eventually got it going, and it was That was I think that was the only downside to the whole day. It was like, the tree, but all in all, it was fun. It was Aki's first Larry's Winter Ren Faire.
Yeah. It was Heidi's first.
Oh, Heidi came. Yeah, it was Heidi's first. And yeah, I mean, it's just always a good time. Always super fun. I met one of the guys who runs a Midwest Gaming Classic. He was there and really loved our set. Yeah, he thought we were fantastic. So, of course he did.
Crap! Which
very
guy?
Good.
I should have talked to him. I mean, I'm sure they've told him that I'm going to play in GTB's room.
And we told him all about Mad with
that.
Power, and he's I think he's coming. So.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool. The basement set up like they had like a bar down there, and then they had like 2x4s. Like,
so you could actually sit and watch
and
then they had like a next door room. Oh, sorry. The next door room with good arcade stuff, yeah.
And for the Patreon backers, Larry is sending me... They filmed the whole thing. Larry is sending me the video footage, and I will be uploading, like I did last year, songs from the Ren Faire, including maybe Beer from the Fridge. We'll see. You get to see the impromptu... see the impromptu version of Beer from the Fridge. So yeah, check that out. If you're not on the Patreon, get on the Patreon. Patreon.com/Lords of the Trident. And we will send you all sorts of cool, amazing, fantastic stuff.
March 23rd, Brest at the High Noon Saloon.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, do we have anything else? We do, yeah. So it is Brent's birthday on March 23rd. So we've got a heavy metal slumber party in his honor.
There are a lot of people that are actually really excited about that idea.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited about it myself. So
wear
pajamas. Yep. Go to our site or go to our Facebook and check out the poster because it was really fun to make. I took the front of the Dream Phone Milton Bradley.
What makes you think like you used to
game
like always make a new poster for every show?
I did.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had a lot of fun with this one. But yeah, check it out. We are doing a heavy metal slumber party. Pajamas are required, right? So bring at least pajama pants. We're all going to be wearing pajama pants on stage, right? So bring your favorite pajama pants. It's going to be comfy pants only required. And bring a pillow. Because instead of a mosh pit, we're going to do a gigantic heavy metal pillow fight. And I think, one of the other things I have planned during our set is I'm going to have everybody call up a boy and then hang up. Call him up, wait till he picks up, and then hang up. It's going to be one of the things we do. It's going to be great. You can't really do that anymore with caller ID, because they'll call you right back. They'll know exactly who it is. But I think just the spirit of it will be funny.
Sarah, did you want something or what?
Right.
I think we've all... I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You're fine.
I think we've all been there where you had called a girl's house and you had to get their parent and you had to ask for the girl.
Hey,
awkward.
Is Susie there?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Who's calling?
Right.
Never mind. Click. So we're going to do that at the High Noon Saloon, but we're all going to be old and you know, mostly married. So, but it'll still be really, really fun.
The joke is, I think I'm going to call Brett.
Oh, that's
So
a good one.
I'll call Brett. And
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mid-song, I'm going to call him.
Just call him up. He'll just be drumming and be like, what?
Brett strikes me as the kind of person that would answer his phone during a set.
Probably.
Yeah.
He's ambidextrous enough that he'd be like, brrrr, just one hand. He's like, I'm a little busy right now. I'm in the middle of a show.
No, I think he typically stashes it and doesn't pull it out.
Yeah, I wonder, like, you know, because he's so good at drums. I wonder if he could.
I'm sure
you know,
he could.
he probably could.
Yeah.
All right, we'll put that one to the test. So yeah, we got the Brent Fest, the Heavy Metal Slumber Party, coming up on March 23rd. And we're playing at Broadfest this year, and there's some other stuff coming up, but mostly we're in writing mode and doing that right now. So you guys have anything else that you want to add?
I think that's pretty much it.
All right, for the last word, we're gonna tap into one of our sponsors here.
Boy.
Don't worry.
Is there cork in that?
No, there's no cork in Cold Cock.
Is there poison in it?
All right, Dad, this one's for you.
No, we should all do it.
Oh God, you're gonna do it too?
Just
Okay.
a tiny bit. You only did a
just a
little bit.
touch.
Yeah.
Brian doesn't have to do it. It's fine. I mean, okay.
We're all doing it.
Serve it up.
Just give him a little bit because this stuff is vile.
Womp it up.
All right.
Gee, I wonder why Cold Cock went out of business. I just wonder why. All right, Dad, listen up. You might not like the music we're playing. You might not like how pointy our guitars are. You might not like the fact that I shaved half of my head and I turned the other half purple. Well, Dad, you know what? It's because you never supported me. It's because when I was 4 years old, I gave you that macaroni painting and you didn't say anything about it. So you know what? You can go to hell. You can go right to hell. And this one's for you son of a bitch, macaroni painting hating mother father.
God. I'm laughing.
Cold Cock whiskey. Suck it, Dad.